And as I kept shopping, I realized, and this is the next thing that's really peculiar for me, and it's a true confession that I have to share with you. One of the things I was completely unaware of is money. And my question is, are you shopping to slick out? And what this means is I'd never had any money of my own. And so now here I am on my first job. I had a couple of jobs when I lived at home and the money went back to the family. But now I had my own money. I had my own job. And nobody ever told me what I was supposed to do with the money. Nobody ever trained me in money because we didn't have any. And so I'm not blaming my parents because we didn't have any money. But my issue was, and my issue to this day is, if you don't have a plan to do something with your money, are you just going to spend so that you can slick out and go from paycheck to paycheck? Now, this is a really weird, dumb, convoluted way of looking at life. But, let's go back to my teens, right? These are my late teens, and I didn't know any better. I thought, okay, I'm supposed to move away from home, and I'm supposed to get a job, and then what? Nobody ever told me that you're going to be spending, you're going to be paying bills and spending money for the next 70 years of your life. Because if somebody would have told that to me and I understood that concept, I would have put the money into a bank account or an investment account or something, and I would have made the money work for me. But I didn't know that was the reality. I didn't know what was supposed to happen next. So I thought, oh, I earned this money. This is my money. I'm supposed to go out and spend it because next week, more money's coming in and I'm supposed to spend that, right? Wrong. That is not how money works. But that's what I did. I made sure that I slicked out every week. I earned money and then I went and I spent it every week. And then at the end of the week, there was no money left. And then I would start the next week all over again, right? And I was living with the family, so I wasn't saving anything to go live on my own one day. The thought had never even crossed my mind. I did not know that's how life works. And so there I was in my late teens, and I'm slicking out every single week because I get paid at the end of every week, and then I go spend it every week. And then what happened was I started running out of money. I started spending more money than I was earning. And then I started getting creative because we are creative people, right? So I said to myself, wait a second, how much money do I need to earn? I need to go get a paper route. So I started getting a paper route so that I could deliver newspapers before my nanny shift started early in the day. That way I could earn paper route money and I could earn nanny money, and then I could go spend it by the end of the week. Still wasn't saving a dime. Didn't know that's how that worked. And so my question to you is, are you shopping so that you can slick out? Because paycheck to paycheck is your comfort zone. Now, I hate to say this, but there are a lot of people that I've worked with over the years. Nobody ever told them about money either. I'm not beating any of us up. But what I am doing is I'm raising a little white flag saying, hey, let's stop right here, okay? Let's stop right here and ask ourselves the question, is our comfort zone paycheck to paycheck? And do we know that there's something beyond that? And if there is something beyond that, do we need to keep buying all the stuff that we're buying? At the time, remember, I was buying things I didn't need because it was a social event. I was trying to impress my friends that were sort of my friends. I was slicking out every week because I didn't know what I was supposed to do with the money. And I was building, without even realizing it, I was rebuilding the comfort zone of what I had growing up in a house that was a little house with lots of stuff in it because there were lots of people. Then I moved to another house that also had lots of room, but not lots of people and lots of space. My comfort zone was having everything full. So I started buying stuff just to fill up the room. And as the room got full, all of a sudden I was back in my comfort zone. Yay, everything was good again, right? I didn't understand I was creating unnecessary clutter for myself. And I was completely unaware of what was happening with the paycheck to paycheck thing. And so I want us to stop and say, are you slicking out and are you buying things you need? And are you just buying things to be buying things? Because that's really a frightening game if that's the game that you're playing. And that's the game I was playing because I didn't know any better.